Classic.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep this in case I want to clip it. But yeah, the number one feedback I got from that episode was that guy seems like an asshole.
I don't think there's any doubt that my performance was the strongest out of all the four of us, even though I didn't say hardly anything at all.
You said almost nothing.
I said almost nothing, and that was the strongest performance because of what was laid out on the table in front of me. That was the right move, was to not respond.
So it was a conscious effort to...
I mean, that's the plight of the modern reasonable man, is to face the onslaught and not feed into it.
So it was like a stoic approach.
I nailed that.
I think so too. Yeah.
I really nailed that performance. Like,
I feel better now that you've kind of clarified for people that may have.
It's actually a show of great strength and resilience to sit there the whole time not saying anything.
He was like, I'm gritting my teeth this whole time.
That's hard. Yeah, that's hard to do. And I was a gentleman, and
some just didn't realize the amazing talent they were witnessing at the time.
No, they thought this guy just,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people relate to being in that situation where you just have, walls of, thought coming at you that it just. Shout out Jimmy, shout out Steve Moreno, shout out Jimmy and Steve. Great, those were great guests. I want to say, really great guests.
Those two were great.
And a great host. Brad was hosting. Producing, yes. Oh, was I the host? Then I was a really gracious host.
I thought you were until you stopped talking.
Growing community, one conversation at a time. Brick by brick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brick by Brick podcast. Today we have a longtime friend of the show, a very impressive man. He wears many hats. He's a former National Indoor Football League player.
There we go.
He's played some college ball. And so he has that background. He wears many hats. And I want to welcome to the show Justin Garland.
Thanks for having me, Greg. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So Sunday right now, there's a lot of football going on.
Yeah.
A lot of people also doing something on Sunday called church.
Uh-oh.
People go to church. But you and Brad, you guys didn't meet at church, did you?
No, definitely not.
And
I mean,
well,
the gym is kind of like
church.
It's a church
Yeah,
in a
you
lot
could
of
say
ways.
that.
So
That's a church of sorts.
Yeah, the Church of Sweat.
Yeah, gym is very sacred place, I would say. So that was Bally's, and you guys were both working there.
Yep.
Now, how did you come to? You were a manager there.
I was. Yeah.
How did you get into that position?
Walked in to get a membership, and then the general manager, Dexter McClendon, shout out to Dex.
Mm-hmm.
That same day, he asked me these three questions. First, he asked me, he said, "Do you have a job?" And I said, "No." He said, "Are you looking for a job?" I said, "No." And then he said, "Well, do you want a job?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Here, fill this out." So literally, as I'm sitting there trying, I just want a gym membership because at that time I was 24, 25 years old. I was still pursuing a football career. That's what I really wanted to do, and I needed a place to work out. And so I went to the closest gym to where I was living at the time, and then ended up with a job.
Great.
And then it was like I would consider myself to be pretty personable, and that's all I was doing. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know what to do this. I was just giving people what they were asking us for, and then I did it a lot more than other people, and I was successful.
What was your number one sales trick? You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
What was my number one sales trick?
I'll tell you mine, and you can think about yours. I would do the walk away close because I read it in a book and it worked. Like the first time I tried it, so I use that every time where they say they're not going to buy personal training. So you agree with them that it's not right for them, and then as you walk out the door, you double back and go, "Hey, what could I have said to have?" So you let them off the hook. Is the key. You say, "What could I have said to make you buy today?" And then they tell you because they think it's over, but really it's just begun. It works, dude.
I like that.
It works.
I'm gonna use that now. Thank you. I never used that. I just literally I was like the cashier at like an In-N-Out. I'm taking your order. You're telling me what you want. I'm just giving it to you, and then convincing you that at the price we're giving it to you for is the right price for you, and you're not going to go anywhere else.
So you showed up and you did your job, and that's how you moved up.
That's how I moved up. Yeah, that's how I moved up.
For the kids out there watching, should they go and work at a gym if they're looking for a job? Is a gym a good place to work? And did you get anything out of it?
I got a lot out of it. I'll say that. So do I think a gym for somebody who's never worked before would be a good place to start? Heck yeah. You know, let's say somebody's trying to get out of like being in their shell or something like that. I would say go work at a gym because you're going to meet new people. You're going to talk. You're going to gain new experiences, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you've got a lot out of it. You've met this man
I met
here,
Brad,
and
he's amazing.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. No cap.
No cap.
No cap. So you've been worked in the fitness world.
Yeah.
And you've pivoted since then.
Big time.
Okay, big time pivot. Let's hear about that.
Pivot. So doing all of that, then went into real estate.
Okay, now that I think a lot of people fantasize about pivoting, about breaking out of their current endeavors and doing something new, and it's very scary. Yeah. And what motivated you? You think you were scared to do it, maybe, or what made you say, "Oh, heck with the fear"?
Well, I don't think I was really afraid to do it.
Okay.
I think I was at first. I was uneducated. Like I didn't know. I started actually doing real estate with a guy named what was his name? Golly, I forgot his name now. Phil Apodaca.
He gave you a job.
He gave me a job as a loan officer or an assistant loan officer at the office that he was running, and he painted a very cool picture, a vision that I saw, and I was like, yeah, I do want that type of life. I want to be able to, because I could see how successful he was, and I thought, yeah, I do want that, and that's one of the things I would tell anybody is if you're really looking forward to going into something, find a mentor if you can.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
So your foot in the door to real estate was this man, but also this job as a loan officer.
Yeah.
So for the kids out there, should they go try to get a job as a loan officer? Do you think is that something they should go do?
Man,
how'd you like that experience?
I liked that experience. I'll say it just like anything. You're gonna go places and you're gonna meet different people that maybe rub you the wrong way or maybe have, I don't want to say ill intent, but they're more worried or more concerned about their needs and what they're doing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so sometimes that you go into these environments and things don't always work out for you. He and we ended up having to part ways in our business endeavors. Would I suggest it? Anybody who has a passion for doing stuff like that, yeah.
I mean, it's an option for the people out there. These are lanes you can take.
Definitely.
You can work at a gym. You could become a loan officer.
Yeah.
We want to give these kids options, and so then, they can't get away with saying, "Oh, there's nothing for me to do."
There's plenty.
I can't. Life's too hard. There's nothing for me to do.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that at all. And I think so. I'm glad that you said what you said because I feel like that's a pretty good segue. So when I was growing up, we kind of looked at like blue collar jobs as like grunt work. There's not a lot of money.
Sure.
You work way harder than other people. Let's say white collar people or white collar employees.
Sure.
And so when I was growing up, I never saw that as an avenue. But now, here I am working as an electrician and we're making really good money. And I'm like, dude, like, okay. So now when I talk to my nieces and my nephews, I tell them, hey, you're gonna find something you're really good at, maybe that you really like. Mm-hmm. Don't limit yourself. Don't say, oh well, maybe I want to be a roofer, or work in construction. Being a carpenter or a painter or whatever the case is.
Sure.
Electrician, plumber, all these other things, and they might think, well, it's not gonna pay me enough, or it's not going to get me the life that I want, or it's not going to put me in the right car or vehicle to get to where I want to be.
Right.
I would absolutely say, no, that's not true. I would say, I think there's a lot of different things that that are out there that are available to anybody. Just like you said, I think, we have more opportunity now than we did before, or at least that's how I see it now.
Yeah.
That you can make a really good living. I think sometimes.
Yeah. Learn a trade.
Yeah,
Learning a trade.
Oh yeah,
can be very,
very helpful.
That's another thing you can do out there. You can learn a trade.
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Really good time.
Now, I said that Justin had many hats, and one of his hats is also author.
Ooh.
And when did you write? This book is called
This is an amazing
This is an amazing story, Relentless Pursuit.
Yeah.
This is an amazing story, Relentless Pursuit.
It's the full title, by the way.
It's a great book. I would recommend it to anybody. And when did you write it?
So I published it about 2 years ago.
Okay. It's new.
Yeah, it's new. I started working on it, I want to say over the course of like 10 years ago.
What made you think that you could write a book, why did you start writing it
So
10
I
years
absolutely
ago?
What
did
made
not
you
think I
think you
could write
could
a
read?
book.
That's how that sounded.
So what made me think I could write a book? So I absolutely did not think I could write a book. So
Right.
The book itself, though, details a story, a point in my life that obviously, so I experienced that firsthand. So I would tell the story to people when I would feel led to. Like if I was, like, let's say you and I were talking, and in that conversation, I felt like there was something like my story could help you with, then I would tell you the story.
Okay, you were called to write this book because sharing this story was important to you. You felt like doing it. Okay.
Yeah. And so there was one of my other friends, Brian Lascano, the gentleman who actually owns Harmony. So I would tell him the story, and he would always ask me to tell it again. Hey, Justin, can you tell me that story again?
Bro, you're really giving him like of mice and men vibes right now.
Really? So he tells me, and I'm like, okay. And then he says, you know what, dude? You need to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, because this is an amazing story. And so when he says that, I'm like, that's what I'm going to title the book.
Yeah.
It was literally in that moment, it was like, boom, okay. I'm going to write the book. And then this is what I'm going to call it. This is an amazing story. And so as I started to kind of like think about, how I'm going to write this book, and one of the processes was that, I thought, this would be so much easier if I could I'll tell myself the story, I'll record myself telling the story, and then I'll play it back. And as I play it back, I'll type out what I'm hearing.
To me, that sounds like that would be helpful. If you have a story you want to tell,
I think so
yourself
too.
telling
Yeah,
it.
record yourself telling it, and then you can type it back, or listen back and start to type things out. But for whatever reason, it flowed better as I was telling the story to myself, or just reliving it, and I would type it out. And then there were things that I felt God would want to say in certain things, or at certain points as I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I mean, you were reading it. You said that even a lot. You can tell like there's a lot of stuff that's in there where it starts to tie in things with biblical principles.
Oh, for sure.
All sorts of stuff.
So this, I just want to point out to the kids at home, this is also another opportunity that's available to people. They can be storytellers.
Big time.
You can record yourself, or you can just write out a story. People will listen for the most part. And this man has wrote out a great story. Now this, when we pick up on the character who is yourself,
Yeah.
You're playing for football teams,
Yep.
and you're living at home.
Yeah.
And that's when it opens. And what is how old are you there?
I was like 24, 25.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Okay. And it's an amazing story because at that point he starts to follow, he has some hardships.
Yep.
And he goes on a quest, so to speak.
I like that.
And he has this guidance of his into his own intuition, and also he's praying a lot.
A lot.
He's praying a lot, and he's getting answers, and he's following them. He's taking action, and all that. And that's also, I want to say to the kids at home, that's also something you can do.
Yeah.
You can pray, and you can follow the answers that you get. But in this book, your character at 24, 25 is, to me, very impressive. Well, because I don't think I had any faith at 24 and 25, but very strong faith at that point. You're praying, you're going, it's seen in the book, takes place at a Bible study.
Yeah.
Where the topic is Exodus.
Yeah.
Exodus, and how we all have Egypts that we need to cast off. And so just the kind of the complexity and the strength of your faith at that age, what do you attribute that to? Was that something you always had? Did you always have a very strong faith?
I felt like I always did, yeah. Definitely there were moments in my life where I felt like my faith wasn't there. But there were a lot of other times where I felt like my faith was really strong. What I understand is like faith always takes corresponding action, right? And what I mean by that is I can't just, let's say, for example, I'm praying for $1 million. I'm gonna be a millionaire one day. So I believe by faith I'm gonna be a millionaire, but then I sit on the couch, I don't do anything.
Sure.
Right. So that's not really faith, right? Faith without corresponding action is dead. Okay. It's where the Bible says, faith.
I've heard that one. Faith without works is dead. Yeah.
So my faith in action then should produce some sort of result, right? Or should produce a result, right? If I don't, maybe I might not like the result, because obviously, like as you read the book, one of the things that I was pursuing was an NFL career. So here I go on this journey to go pursue that by faith, right? And then I'm thinking that at the end of this journey, I like your word, actually, quest. At the end of this quest, I'm like, I'm going to be an NFL football player.
Yeah.
I'm taking this action. I'm going to be an NFL football player. And I don't want to say it sucks, because it doesn't suck. Now that I look back on it, or that I've matured a little more, I can look back on it and say, man, you know what? There were so many other things that I learned in that moment, in that time, that have really helped me as I've gotten older. And then I can look back and say, man, like I can see where God used me, to reach somebody else. And just because the outcome wasn't the outcome that I was expecting it to be, doesn't mean that God's plan didn't work.
And that's really the amazing part of the story for me. The amazing story is that you go on this quest, and you were only able to do the quest because you had the faith. You did things that didn't really make sense for you to do logically.
Didn't at all. No.
You were suffering. You had reason to doubt, the outcome of these things, but you you pursued forward. And your character in the book, I'm speculating, but I think that he felt like that he would be rewarded with with an NFL career.
Yeah.
From taking all these steps and doing these things, but all the while you're on this quest, you're sharing it with others.
Yeah.
Every time you met somebody, you were honest with them.
Yeah, super honest.
And that's really that's a big part of why the story is amazing, is because you're honest with these people about what was really going on. They helped you.
Yeah.
And your honesty was like such a good example to them, and it really affected all these people. And we find out, that was the point of the journey, was for you to help these people. Now we find that out reading it. When did you find that out? Because there's a scene in the book where where a friend of yours that you've met on your journey is telling you that he thinks that that's actually the reason of the thing. Now, so you actually had that realization then when he said it?
No. I fought. So I fought with that.
Right.
When he told me,
you were still feeling this was a wasted trip.
Yeah. Honestly, I did. I felt like, dude, like, God, Lord, you told me that this is what I was gonna do. This is what, and so I'm on the airplane home, and I'm sitting there, and we hadn't even taken off yet, and I'm sitting on the plane, and I'm kind of like, the best way that I can relate this is being a boxer or a fighter that just, you laid it all out there, and you were expecting to win, and at the end of the fight you've lost, and you just feel dejected. You just feel like, dude, like I did all of this and I've lost. You know, I think I can imagine what that might feel like based on what I went through. So I'm sitting there on the plane and I felt dejected. I felt like, what was it? What was this really all for? And I hear what this guy has told me.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. But Lord.
He said, well, that's your opinion,
yeah,
man.
that's your opinion, bro. Like, you know, like that's, and I appreciate that. I'm glad that it's helped you, but how does that help me?
Sure.
Right. I flew all the way across the nation. I'm in a place I've never been before. I don't know what to expect when I get out there. And God told me to come out here. Lord, would you really send me across the nation just for one person? You know, he tells me, yeah, and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, dude, but you told me I was going to play football. And he's like, no, I told you to try.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, I'm like, oh, it's like, I get it. It's hard to hear because that's not what I wanted the outcome to be.
Yeah.
And so I just like, I'm like bawling my eyes out next to this couple that I've never even met before. And the wife is like, dude, are you okay?
Sure.
And I'm like,
And
no, you know, no, I'm not okay. You know,
but then you were honest with them and explained and shared the thing with them.
You know, and it's crazy because I've never really picked up on any of that until you said it.
Well, but then when did you realize that he had been using you for that, and when did you feel good about being used like that? Feel good that you had helped those people with the faith.
Well, I definitely felt good helping that one gentleman, but it wasn't until now where I actually identified that. So even for me, like now,
okay.
You know, it's like I being able to be honest with all those other people and tell them what I was doing and why I was doing it.
Yeah.
I never really thought that was part of the journey until you said something right now.
Well, that's the
So
amazing
it's just
journey.
like-
Is he
it
used
like,
he used you to help those
all
people,
those other people, yeah.
And then you say just one person,
Just one person.
and that we could say one at a time.
I like that.
But if I helped somebody,
That's all that matters.
become strong, well, that person can go help. It's not like
Yep.
it's like a pyramid scheme.
Oh,
Kinda.
yeah, it
You know,
is.
it's multi-level marketing.
It is.
We're
So
doing
if
here.
anybody's ever questioned or wondered, yeah, being a follower of Christ is definitely a pyramid scheme.
It is, yeah, it's multi-level marketing. I mean, we hope.
Yeah.
It's, you know, evil's contagious, and I would say that good's contagious as well.
Just as much, yeah.
And yeah, so I didn't believe in God for a long time. I was very, I had my own struggle with like being I think when I was a kid, like real young, you just take it, you just learn about heaven and hell, and you
Yeah.
just accept it. And I have a theory about this that I feel like, well, everybody's got a theory about stuff, but here's an interesting theory I have, is that we set up kids to kind of doubt belief in God, and this is how it's because they're born and we go, hey, there's a heaven and a hell, there's good and bad, and you got to be a good person because we're all all men are created equal, and yada yada yada. And then we also tell them about Santa Claus. And we say Santa Claus, he delivers presents to all the house, and if you're good or bad, we do that. And then we also tell them about a thing called the tooth fairy.
Yeah.
Now I remember being a child and believing, and we also tell them about something called the first Thanksgiving, where the Pilgrims and the Indians are all friends. Now I remember being a child and being, you would call me a fundamentalist. I radically believed in heaven and hell and Santa Claus and the first Thanksgiving and the tooth fairy. And then then at a certain point they go, you know what? Those are silly. There's no such thing as the first Thanksgiving where the Pilgrims are friends with the Indians. There's no such thing as Santa Claus, and there's no such thing as the tooth fairy.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, oh. And then you get to a certain class in school where they talk about evolution,
You forgot about the East. Did you say Easter Bunny?
No, he didn't say
Well,
the Easter
Easter
Bunny.
Bunny's
I thought he
another
was
one,
gonna-
yeah.
That one, I feel like they don't even try anymore with that one.
I
They're
don't know
just
that
like,
I don't know
even
that
kids
ever.
are-
I don't think I ever actually believed in the Easter Bunny.
Exactly. But
But-
they throw it out there.
But I definitely believed in the Tooth Fairy.
You don't
and
want to be
Santa
that
Claus.
one kid who really bites on the Easter Bunny story. Like nobody. That kid's.
I love it.
he's eating
Yeah, the
alone.
bunny didn't ever make sense to me, but I believed in all of it. And then they,
But the Tooth Fairy, that.
I believe the Tooth Fairy for sure because how else get the dollar? The tooth is gone and there's a dollar there.
Well, how are you going to get the eggs, Greg? How are you going to get the hidden eggs?
See,
Yeah.
how does that
Doing
even do
Who's
with the
doing that?
bunny? You know that your parents
Right?
are hiding the eggs.
Who's doing that? It's like,
But
dude,
Santa Claus is like, there's a bite out of the cookie.
yeah.
So who did that? And
So we used to
The
leave
reindeer?
carrots and celery and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff for the reindeer too.
yeah, and
And
sometimes
it'd be gone.
Sometimes you hear them on the roof even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cruel. So I think I might have went too far.
Oh, here you're creating little.
There we
Yeah,
go.
because like on one hand, I love the innocence of when kids believe in Santa or a tooth fairy. I love it, and I know it's only natural that it's good for them to live that fantasy as long as they can, because that's part of being a kid, right?
Yeah.
But so the tooth fairy thing, Brooklyn kept talking about the tooth fairy, and she wanted me to set up a GoPro to like catch the tooth fairy, and she made this shoebox with a trap, and so I was like, all right, okay, I'll set up a GoPro. But I knew she was gonna want to see the footage the next day, and it would be pretty incriminating because I'd be putting money underneath her. So what am I gonna do? Well, I'm a video editor, so I AI'd a little tooth fairy, and I made it look super legit. And then I showed it to her, and she's like, "What? That's crazy." And I'm like, "That's too far." Now she's gonna be 18, talking about like, "You guys,
No,
are,
it's not
you
too
guys,
far.
you
I don't
guys
think
are
it's
too
too far at all.
You guys are fools." I've seen the video.
Yeah.
My
seen
dad
the
won't.
video. We
My
caught
dad won't
it.
send it to me, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's too
That's
far.
hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I love it.
And for all we know, there is a Tooth Fairy.
It's,
mean,
it's
I-
Dwayne the Rock
I
Johnson.
want to keep. I'm kind of thinking about what I'm saying here, and I mean, but yeah. So they make you. That is just a little funny theory that I have, but there's a class you go to in school called biology class, and then
Yeah.
they start telling it's just like you feel it's so mainstream now too. This kind of just willingness to kind of dismiss belief and faith as something unintelligent and thing. And I really bought into it I bought into that for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it was my own escape. I realized it was an escape because as a child, you learn about how just the daunting task of being a good person, and obeying the rules, or I don't really like thinking of them as rules, but just the idea of treating everyone fairly.
Yeah.
Following the golden
Yeah,
rule as to a child. It just seemed to me so daunting, and how nice it would be if I could just live in a world where that all didn't matter.
Yeah.
And I could just live in a world that was just created by chemistry and by chance and no creator, and kind of make my own rules. That was so appealing to me, and I went into that very I was so snooty. I was so smarter than all the Christians. I thought, you
It's
guys,
like, I got you.
yeah, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
You don't know. You never heard of carbon dating. You don't know about. You think Noah built an ark, but yeah, that was my experience with it until. But I always had it when I was a little kid, and then like I said, I think it was always there. But I would escape into this world where it wasn't there, and I would get to behave the way I wanted to behave, and it got me into a lot of trouble, and I had addiction problems, and I'm in recovery now,
Nice.
and so much of your book I relate to because of that.
Nice.
The second part of your book about
Vision.
the vision,
the relentless pursuit.
It reminds me a lot of doing the steps. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you had any not experience, but like, do you know about anything? Because it almost sounds it's very similar. To your book.
Yeah, no. When it comes to like let's say the 12 steps and stuff like that, no, I didn't know. Yeah, no, I didn't know.
Yeah. So it's so many. The program, the Alcoholics Anonymous, is very religious, and I probably shouldn't say that because it's going to scare the atheists away from the program, and I don't want that. We want you to come in anyway, but it's not religious. But I mean, these steps we take. One of the steps is turn your life and your will over to the higher power of your own understanding. So that is what the guy's doing in the book. That's what you're doing in that thing. You're turning it over, and you're helping other people, and that can be the purpose. And when you're sitting on that plane, feeling so like things didn't go your way, that's such a universal feeling that I think everyone feels all the time. We feel like things aren't going our way, and it does.
I feel like everything's always going my way.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't feel that way. He feels.
I've never had a struggle in my entire life.
He feels like like things don't go his way, and he throws his hands up, and he.
But isn't that part of faith, though? Like just knowing, like, this is gonna lead to something else. Every challenge I've ever had, I feel like this is setting me up to be stronger for the next thing. And one thing I realized through the challenges with Tori was I didn't realize, like, when she was preemie and we were in the NICU and we had to kind of go through that, it was almost like just building up this strength that I didn't even know I was going to have. You know, and using that, because there's only two options, right? You either let you know, the challenges and obstacles tear you down and make you a victim to life, or you allow them to mold you into something stronger.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
That's my contribution to the podcast.
I love it.
But I also, I'm late to the party because I'm slow back here, but I found my fairy video. I thought it was pretty cool.
No way.
So she did like a fairy garden.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. And I even like blurred it a little bit to where it's like doesn't look crisp. So it looks like. And she just bit, dude. She was like, I have proof now.
I have proof now.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that shot of? Was that
awesome.
the shot of the exterior of the house?
Yeah, so the day after,
Tooth Fairy comes to the room.
No, I know. So the day before this, she had a tooth, and I did the same type of video, and then she wanted to confirm, so she made a fairy garden just so I could capture it again. And I was like, all right, I guess if you want to see if it'll come to the fairy garden.
See, I know this is not the real Tooth Fairy because I know the Tooth Fairy doesn't come to the garden. It only goes to your pillow. It only comes to your pillow. That's how I know this isn't the real Tooth Fairy.
Well, I have video evidence, so.
No. Tooth Fairy wouldn't go to the backyard.
This is hilarious.
It only goes.
I'm just saying.
This is so funny. Hey,
I'm just saying.
You've got grown men now that absolutely 100% believe in the Tooth Fairy.
I thought I had the video of the
that's what they do to us. They
one.
set us up to look like fools.
I love it. That's funny.
There was a Tooth Fairy one, but I
man.
couldn't find it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway.
And see, I get the point of the whole. I don't know if I get the point of any of them. Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy. It's just like we just like messing with kids.
No, it's about giving kids like letting kids be kids, giving them a story.
So letting kids be kids, meaning letting them get fooled.
No,
Like, that's what it
I
is?
think it's more about letting them use their imagination.
Yeah.
I want them to use their imagination as much as they possibly can for as long as they can.
And also,
So
Christmas,
then, what's the point of the first Thanksgiving myth?
I mean, that one's
That's
that one's
different.
kind of
That's a little
that one's on
different.
its own lane.
Why do we like to trick?
that one's-
Why do we trick them like that? We say, "Ha ha! You thought they were nice. They're not nice."
No, but like Christmas, I mean, think about it. For a lot of people, like the ability to kind of spoil your kids or give them gifts without them knowing it's coming from your parents. It's kind of like a selfless way of showing their kids that they're valuable and that they are they're receiving gifts without it it's coming from an obligatory place of like your parents. And, you know, I think it's just like it's an outside validation from something else saying, hey, you get something. And you're validated outside of the house and the parents who always tell you they love you.
Have you ever heard of somebody who actually got a lump of coal?
No.
I think that used to happen. I think parents used to actually do that. And then, so the myth of Santa Claus, then you could actually give the good kid a reward and give the bad kid a lump of coal.
In line all year
and
long.
Then,
remember that year you got the coal?
And the bad kid can't argue because they say, it wasn't me, it was Santa Claus. He made the call. He saw everything. He must be right.
He must be right.
I know. But, I forgot years, early 90s, we had the strict rule. We used to always look for the presents that were in the house, you know, and I found one in my mom's closet. And I kind of tore there's methods, but you kind of tear the corner with a razor blade and you kind of like try to be slick about it. Anyway, it was a Nintendo 64.
Guy's got a razor blade
totally,
going around the house.
I mean, it was the hood, dude. I had like a blade. I just popped it out. It was like, and I looked at it and I thought I got away with it. I know what I'm getting. I probably had a smug look walking down the stairs. Like, I already know what's in there. But I opened it up, and it was just an empty box because she found out that I saw it, so she took it back. So, I mean, like, I think that there's a lot of psychology that goes into Christmas and gift giving.
Yeah.
And
dude, you blew it, dude.
I blew it.
Yep. Oh.
Yep.
Dang.
Yep. Blew it.
Oh. You freaking blew that.
Heart.
How your life would be different if you had gotten that.
My life is better
64.
because I didn't get it. I learned the hard way, but you learn, you know.
You think that an N64 would have hurt you?
No, I just think, you know, I did something wrong and
learned.
My mom,
because
my
you
mom
learned.
had the same sense of humor I did. She was probably getting a kick out of watching my smug ass walking down the stairs. Like, look at him. He thinks he's getting something cool.
He thinks he's getting a Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a nice looking box.
She's like passing him the box, like can't wait for him to see.
We both have the same smug look on our face, like we know what's going on.
Here, I saved the best one for last. Here it is.
Yep.
He opens it up empty.
No, it's fine. Let everybody else open up. I can wait.
That's funny.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to use holidays and ceremonial events like to teach lessons and to embed really good things and values in kids, man.
Yeah, there is.
True that. So the book is Relentless, is an amazing story of relentless pursuit. You can get it on Amazon.
Yep.
I'm Greg. This is Justin. Brad in the back, and we're gonna go ahead and sign off. I never could, but time has taken all the pain away, and by now I'm down to hurting once a day, all day long. And once at night, from dusk till dawn, the only time that I wish that you weren't gone, baby, is once a day, every day, all day long. Once a day, every day, all day long. I forgot to put on the headphones. That's not a problem.